if I started this vlog or not, so if I didn't, hello. It's Thursday, the 13th. I have no school today because we had a snow day today, and tomorrow starts midwinter break. So I have 5 days off. I'm so thrilled. So thrilled. I'm so excited to actually like have a little bit of a break, considering the last few weeks have been kind of stressful, to say the least. I want to update you guys on what's going on. So I'm currently in the middle of Blood Over Brighthaven. I am about 100, and let me see, because I got through a few chapters today while I was out and about getting groceries and stuff. So I am currently on page 185. On page 185 of Blood Over Brighthaven. I want to finish this today because this is my last carryover from January, and then I can finally full on get into my February TBR. Now, because I have the next several days off of work and I'm not really thinking of going anywhere except like maybe to my parents' house to celebrate my dad and my sister's birthdays, I think that it's possible I will get through several more books this weekend. So I've got it all figured out here. I've got like my whole stack organized of like the order of which I'm going to, for the most part, get through these books. A couple things are like either audiobooks or ebooks that like I had to either borrow or they're on my Kindle. So there's that. But otherwise, that's kind of where we're at. I have to do some planning right now. I'm going to go ahead and look at some of the readathons that are going on in March to start prepping for that, because I know it's really early in the month, but I would much rather, you know, get some stuff figured out with like readathons and stuff before I like get too heavily involved with my books, so that at least I have kind of an idea. The only one I can really see so far in terms of readathons is Realmathon going on in March, which is hosted by Covers with Cassidy. I don't think there's any Witchathon readathons going on in March. I don't believe, other than the read along, like year-long challenge things that are going on. I think that that is basically going to be the only readathon I do in March. So I'm going to watch the announcement video for that, get some of my TBR figured out for it, and then with the other reading challenges for the year and book clubs and stuff like that, I'm going to get my stuff sorted out. So anyway, I will talk to you guys a little bit later when I've made some progress, and probably when I finish Blood Over Brighthaven. I'm enjoying this immensely so far. Like, this is really good. I think I like this more than I did the Sword of Kaigen so far, which is saying a lot because I really like the Sword of Kaigen a lot. But this has got more of those feelings of like Babel. If you liked Babel by R.F. Kuang, you are really going to like this, I think. Because this is a little bit, it's a different magic system, but it's a very dark academia, colonization kind of themes within it, like Babel had. So if you liked Babel, this would definitely be the next one I would pick up if you're looking for more fantasy, dark academia vibes. So, see you guys later. Okay, so I'm still working through Blood Over Brighthaven. I've got about just under 4 hours left of it, and I'm working on my crochet, my Jack Skellington crochet project. But as I work on it, I want to talk about something that just happened, in this last chapter of Blood Over Brighthaven. Trigger warning in terms of suicidal ideation, things that involve the ideas of suicide, and depression, anxiety, you know, mental illness in general. So here, that's your trigger warning for this, because this is going to be, I think, a conversation I'd like to open up about things that I experience in terms of also trigger warnings of like societal issues, you know, and anything to do with basically how things are going currently and some of the things that are happening in the world today. Like, it's going to be a whole conversation that is brought up because of something that happens in Blood Over Brighthaven. So in the book, basically there is this moment where our main character starts, basically she finds out something about this thing that she's been doing and this religious aspect she's been after for her entire life. You know, she's like in her 20s, so she spent over 20 years doing all this studying, all this work to become what's called a high mage, which is a very prolific thing, and she's the first female in this world to do that. Females are very much looked at as less than. This is very much inspired, I think, by 19th century England specifically. There's a lot of parallels, even though it's a fantasy world, to what we know of through historical documents and other historical fiction works based on 19th century England, okay? So our main character, Siona, she ends up basically getting involved in this project that is going to span over the course of 3 months, where she has to essentially figure out how to expand this barrier of this world, to quell out basically this like group of people that are seen as less than, called the Quen. Now in this, she is basically finding out through her research partner, our other character named Tomel, who is a Quen and is unfortunately someone who has gone through a lot of trauma themselves with this thing called the Blight, which is basically this burst of energy that just instantly kills his people. And it's only been seen in his home area, this Blight, and they don't know where it comes from, they don't know why it happens, they just know that at any random point in time this Blight will happen and people just die. They just drop like flies. So essentially, all the backstory going into this, Tomel is essentially assigned to work with Siona as her research partner, even though he has no knowledge of any of this. He was a janitor beforehand, and because of the fact that Siona is a woman, they're just like, you don't need an actual research partner, you're gonna have this random Quen man end up basically being your research partner because we want you to suffer, we want you to, you know, have a harder time than any of the men high mages are going to have. Typical, right? Typical of any woman that is in a male-dominated field. You're going to have to work 3 times, if not more times, harder than any male person in that field because you're a freaking woman. Okay, let's just talk about that for a second. It is challenged in this book quite a lot by our main character, Siona, about the fact that she's a woman in a male-dominated field and how she's trying to prove herself in this field, okay? There's that huge amount of pressure that is involved in the story, okay? And that by itself just makes me angry, like, in general. Like, it's meant to make you angry because if especially you are a woman in a male-dominated field already, you're gonna be pissed. You're gonna be pissed at the treatment. You're gonna be pissed at the way that these men are, and you're just gonna be annoyed in general. Like, there was a whole scene, literally, that I just read where a doctor comes in to talk with Siona, and she's basically like drilling him on all this stuff that he's supposed to, you know, have knowledge on because he's so knowledgeable, because he's so smart at what he does, and, you know, he's better than her, you know, in some capacity because she's a woman and he's a man, and she just reams him, which was satisfying, let me just say. But this particular scene has a lot of other things built into it. So essentially, going into more of the story, what we see is Siona and Tomel start messing around with figuring out a spell that is going to increase the barrier of this world, okay? And unfortunately, in the search and the quest of that, we find out that it is very likely the magic system that is involved in this world, this aspect of siphoning energy, is very likely what is causing the Blight in some capacity. And Quen is beyond traumatized by this, and he is confused, and he basically starts saying that Siona is kind of part of the problem when it comes to the treatment of the Quen and the literal murder of these people that are very likely like the more indigenous group when it comes to this world, or at the very least they are a minority because of the fact that they are literally being killed left, right, and center by using this magic, and he thinks that Siona doesn't care at all about the fact that this is happening. Now, granted, Siona doesn't understand what's going on because everything she's learned up to this point about the magic, about all of this, has not led to this idea of the fact that, for one, it is part of a reason why it is killing people, and that it is essentially like, you know, killing specifically a group of people that are seen as even lesser than she as a woman is viewed in this society, okay? So let's imagine this. You find out as an individual that the thing you have been doing your entire life, that you have thought as being righteous and has been, you know, thought of as good and, you know, aligns with your religious views and all these things, you find out that it is quite literally the reason why an entire group of people is being killed. I'm sorry, Bubba. I'm getting really heated, aren't I? It's okay. Mommy's okay. So imagine you're in that position, okay? How do you think you would feel when you find out that you are part of the reason an entire group of people is literally being murdered? And everything that you have known up to this point is literally killing people, and you're just finding all this out, right? You're just making that realization. There's a lot of things that would cause someone to not only go through a massive depressive episode, but then on top of that, possibly think about committing suicide. The reason I bring this up is because I think this is a huge parallel to our contemporary society. Obviously, right? More so in my case. I feel this is a huge parallel for me personally about how the things I have done over the course of my life that I thought was right, that I thought was, you know, something that was good or whatever, could be in any way hurting other people. And finding that out, and finding out how my actions are in effect harming other people that I don't know, that are not a part of my particular standing at white, you know, like I am a white woman and my actions are affecting those of color, those of minority groups. And that sits really heavy with me, personally. Because I have done so much in especially my adult life, understanding where my privileges are, where my insecurities lie in terms of how I am not doing everything that I should and not being able to do everything that I should in order to raise awareness of different things and, you know, all this stuff. When you find out that what you have been doing is either not enough or is going in the opposite direction of what you intended to do and what you have intended your life to do, that creates such a weight on top of you that it is suffocating. It is so suffocating, and it is so difficult to put into words how awful that feeling is. And mind you, listen, this is not a woe is me. This is not me trying to be like, feel bad for me. Feel bad for the white girl on the internet that's crying because she doesn't think she's doing enough and she's suffering and all these things. There are thousands, if not millions of people, if not billions of people right now that are suffering so much more than me. God, I feel like I'm gonna turn into fucking what's her ass, that other Gabby, that really popular old YouTuber Gabby who was just like, they're, you know, feed the children and the babies are committing suicide and all these things. That's what I feel like I'm turning into, so I apologize. That's not my intent. What my intent is that this book is painting a picture for me that I think I have not been able to describe in any way, ever. The feelings that Sayona is having, and the fear and the anxiety and the sadness and the guilt that they are feeling in this moment with what they are going through is very similar to a type of feeling I have felt over my adult life as I have watched people on social media specifically being murdered, where I have seen injustice being done upon groups of people of color and indigenous people and It's fucking heartbreaking. And I'm trying as a person, as one person, to do so much to raise awareness of all these different things by word of mouth. I don't post a lot on social media because there's so many people that are posting about it too that I just feel like I'm just gonna add white noise. Race and pun intended. But it's fucking heartbreaking when you try so hard and it feels like it's not enough. And again, I'm not making this a woe is me thing. Oh my God, look at the white girl with her crocodile tears or whatever. That's not where this is coming from. This is something that has weighed heavy on my heart for years. And I am so appreciative that there is something out there that paints the picture of how it feels to feel this way and question everything that you are and question whether your life is worth anything because you can't do everything, because you're not able to do enough in your mind. I have lost sleep. I have lost health. I have lost tears and sweat and very likely somewhere along the way blood over this kind of feeling. I don't take injustice lightly. I never have. I have always been taught by my family that any kind of wrongdoing and injustice needs to be challenged, needs to be fought against. But there are days where I feel like no matter how hard I scream, no matter how hard I cry, no matter how much energy I put into something to seek out the justice that needs to be done for things, there are days it does not feel like it's enough. And what is the point of me being alive? Because I cannot do it. I cannot make the changes that I want. And especially with how things are going right now in the US, with the treatment of people of color, with the treatment of people on the LGBTQ spectrum, with the treatment of women in general, with our reproductive rights. It's a really dark time. And it's really scary. And I'm trying so hard to, stay positive about things, but I am terrified for my life. And there are times where it feels like suicide would be better. I relate so much to Sayana because of how she's feeling and because of how it is impacting her, and she wants to do better. And thankfully, sadness aside, thankfully in this chapter that I just listened to, you see that turnaround. You see where she is able to make the recognition that she can take her energy and use it to fight back even harder. And she can use her energy that she would use to sit and be sad and be depressed and all these things and put it towards something better. And that's extremely inspiring. I don't know about you, but I'm sorry if it feels like this was just kind of a pointless clip. But this is something that those of you that know me, even through this channel, know what it is that I strive to do in my life. And to see a piece of work, a piece of art that is able to hit somewhere so very deep in my soul is very rare. And this hit a place that I don't think I've ever been able to really look at in a very long time. And it really hurts. It's a wound that is very painful. But is a wound that I have been trying to take care of and try not to push into something that is going to make my life worse, in a sense. Meaning that I try not to let this wound be the end of me. I try not to let this wound be the reason I go out. I want it to be the reason that I continue to push, that I continue to strive to be a better person, that I continue to focus my energy on things that matter to me. And fight for the people that I love, and fight for the people that I care about, and fight for the future generations that I will witness come up. This book's really hit a very dark place for me. And I'm grateful for it. Sadness aside, I'm grateful for it. It's something that I needed to sit with myself about and really look into more. But damn it, it fucking hurts. And it should hurt. I'm glad it hurts because that pain is pushing me through. But don't be mistaken. This pain also is something that other people feel that they do not get the ability to push through. There are plenty of people in this world where this very similar kind of pain pushes them over the edge. And it's sad. But I hope that if you feel this kind of pain as well, if you relate to this kind of pain in any way, I hope that you don't let it take you off the edge like that. I hope that you are able to use it as a force that you can use to make yourself be reckoned with. I hope that you can take that pain and transform it into something that pushes you forward to continue to fight back and continue to support those that need the support. And don't forget also to take care of yourself. If you're like me, at a certain point, social media becomes extremely toxic. And I have to step away and not post because it becomes too much. You also have to take care of yourself. You cannot put your energy towards something if you do not take care of yourself. You cannot fill anyone else's cup if yours is empty or running empty. You can't. It's not possible. I feel like I needed to talk this out. I feel like I needed to get these thoughts out because for one, it speaks to the level of pain that this novel brings in and exemplifies and talks about that needs to be talked about. But it's also something that I think I've needed to get out of my chest for a very, very long time. And I can't go to therapy right now, so y'all are my therapy at this point. I just feel like there are so many things in this world that I want to change. And it can be a real hard realization to come to when you realize that you can't, or you at least can't do it on your own. And I think that there's so many of us where we just wish we could snap our fingers and everything turn out fine. And that's not possible. That's not how this works. We have to put in the work. We have to put in the hard work of going to things and partaking in events and showing up for those that we care about. It's hard work, but it's work that needs to be done. Because nobody else is going to do it. And if nobody's going to do it, then nothing's going to change. And with Oscar's entrance, I'm going to leave that there. I love each and every one of you very much. I love anyone that watches this video that it resonates with. There are so many things in this world that I wish I could change. I just have to keep pushing. Just have to keep pushing forward. And it's hard. But it's gotta be done. Okay, it is midnight. I have finished Blood Over Bright Haven on Brandy's Sprints. Wow. I mean, if the last clip I did was any indication of where this book was going to be in terms of my rating, I would hope you would think I would be rating it at least a 4-star. It was 5. When I put it through Call Pile, it ended up at a 9.71, I think. Let me double check that. 9.71, yes. So far, this is not the highest book I've rated this month, but it's a close second. So far, the book that I've rated the highest in February is Empire of Shadows, but that's because that book was more cozy than anything. This one, the things I docked it on were intrigue and logic, because intrigue, I felt like there was like one small part that I kind of was just like, I don't really know. Logic, I felt like it was pretty good overall. But there were some things I felt were a little bit out there for this kind of a book. I don't know, like there also was the logic of like a relationship that's in this, I felt like was like the biggest gripe I had with it. I didn't feel like it was necessary at all. And it could have been fine without the romantic interest in this. Like there was really no need for it. So, that's why it ended up being like a 9.71. But if it wasn't for those two things, this would have been a 10 out of 10. Like, for sure. I loved this. Siona is a character that I think I relate way too hard to. Probably the hardest character I've related to in a long, long time. Gutted. I am just gutted from this book. Like, how am I going to continue reading things after that? I don't know, but I'm going to. So, the next one I'm going to be reading, sorry, there's wrapper here from my diamond painting I'm going to throw away because I don't really need it anymore. But next book I'm going to be working on is Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix. This is now, we are finally getting into the February TBR for sure. This one is doing some heavy duty for me this month with filling in for In Bulk, which is already past, but I'm kind of, like, I basically wanted to extend it to the rest of the month because I was going to be so busy. But this is going to be working for 2 prompts for In Bulk, which are a light source or a book placed in the late winter or early spring. I decided to go with light source because on the actual cover there's a lava lamp, which is a light source. And it also is for the prompt of fertility, growth, nurturing, or elements of the Emperor card in the tarot. I decided to go with fertility because this book apparently is about a group of pregnant women who end up becoming witches. Then it also is counting for several things for Polarthon, namely a book that has a black cover, as well as a warm book, and that's it. And then it also is not counting for anything else. So it's just counting for those things with In Bulk and with Polarthon. And it is one of the, it is though a book club read for me as well, because it is one of Jan's book club reads for her Patreon, specifically the Full Moon Book Club. So I wanted to read it for that as well. So it's doing some pretty heavy duty this month. I did update my, I did update my blankets, so I have 2 rows now that I've done for 5 stars because the last 2 books I've read were 5 stars. I'm running low on my 5-star color, and I went to go check Michael's today to see if they had any more yarn, because I'm also getting down to my last skein of black yarn that I have, and they had nothing. None of my colors. And none in the size that I needed either. So I'm going to have to check sometime next week, I think. Or maybe like in a couple days or something like that. But it's supposed to get really snowy here in the next couple days. So I really don't want to go anywhere if I don't have to. Tomorrow though, I'm going to my parents for the evening because we are celebrating both my dad's and my sister's birthdays, because my dad's birthday was on February 11th and my sister's birthday is on the 21st. And because I'm not going to be able to see them for my sister's birthday exactly, like I'm not going to see her the weekend after her birthday, she's got plans, and I haven't been able to see my dad for his birthday yet. We decided that we were going to take today now, because it's the next day, it's after midnight. We were going to do stuff for them today, but it is also February 14th, so happy Valentine's Day. Hope everybody had a good Valentine's Day. I think that we're not really doing anything here tonight because, like I said, I'm going to my mom and dad's to celebrate my dad and my sister's birthday, but I do want to try to spend a little bit of time with my husband tomorrow when I get back, because he's going to have to go to work no matter what. But tomorrow, or today I should say, is technically the first day of my midwinter break. I get Friday and Monday off, but we got an extra day because of the fact that today was a snow day. So love that. 5-day weekend for me. I love it. But anyway, we're getting close to ending the sprint. I've got a little bit more than a minute left, so I'm going to go for right now. I think I'm going to actually start this after I've gotten up tomorrow. Well, today. I'm going to go get some sleep because I'm getting sleepy. I need a bit of a mental break from reading, but I do want to get through this one very quickly. I would like to be able to get through this one and at least get through my next book before the end of the weekend, if not get through some of my graphic novels I want to get through this month, which basically is the Monstrous series. I'm going to be starting back from volume 1 to catch myself back up and figure out how volume 9 is. So yeah. But anyway, I will see you guys after I have made some progress in Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. Hey guys, so it is currently 1:39 in the afternoon on Sunday. I'm getting ready to go out because the hubby got me a $50 Barnes & Noble gift card for Valentine's Day. So we're going to go spend it, or at least go see if I can find a couple things that I've been looking for a little bit that I can't really seem to find anywhere else at the moment. So we're just getting ready. I'm just going to wash my face and go through my skincare routine because I was going to do that last week, but my camera battery was dying, and today I've got pretty much half a battery, so I think we should be good. Now this is just going to be like my my morning skincare routine more so than anything, because it's still the daytime. So first thing that I'm going with right now is my Good Molecules cleanser. This is the Hydrating Facial Cleansing Gel. I really like this. It helps to even out my skin texture a lot, and it's just really nice and hydrating for me, where most of my skin is very dry. So we're gonna go ahead and use this real quick. I am debating on if I want to take my book that I'm working on right now and just go sit in like the Starbucks cafe at this Barnes & Noble and sit and read too for a little while, because Robert's gonna be likely going to his parents' house. He was not feeling super well yesterday. Like, I think he got whatever stomach bug I had a couple weeks ago, but he's better now, and so he's planning on going to his parents' house today, and I think I will have most of the afternoon for myself. Right now he's taking a nap though, so I don't know when exactly he's going to leave, but he was planning on leaving right around now anyway. But I'm debating on sitting there and reading, because, you know, it just seems like a good idea to just go and like do something outside of the house and kill some time and all that good stuff. But like, I'm trying to think of anything else that I could either bring with me or something I could do while I'm at the cafe, so that at the very least, like, I could get maybe some work done, which I don't really even need to get any work done right now. Like, I don't have any work to do until like tomorrow, but I also always could like get a jump start on it, but I don't really think I want to, because tomorrow I have the day off for President's Day. So I don't know. I'm undecided at this moment. I'll decide right before I leave basically what we're gonna do. So then also tonight is my weekly spa night thing that I do for myself, where I like detox my scalp. I, you know, shave my underarms and my legs and everything, and do my weekly facial, which really is not different than doing my nighttime skincare routine, except like I actually have a couple face masks that I can use now that I just got. So I'm going to use that. I don't know though if I want to like take a bubble bath too. Like, the thing is if I take one, I still have to take a shower no matter what, because I have to wash my hair. But I'm debating on waiting to do that part until tomorrow, because a bubble bath just sounds really, really nice. It really does. But right now I'm gonna go in. I don't use a toner in the morning, because the toner I use says to use it specifically at night. So I'm gonna go in next with my Depuff and Brightening Eye Gel from Bioma. I like this. I mean, I think that I don't have like a ton of like dark circles or anything, but I have like a little bit of bagginess here and there, and like just a little bit of dark circles that I've always kind of had. So this, I think, at least helps tighten up the skin underneath my eyes, and especially like just makes me feel better, because like I know at a certain point, like ever since I was in the esthetician's office, like at a certain point you start to realize like when you hit like 24, 25, you have to start using this kind of stuff, because like you're more likely to get like that puffiness and dark circles under your eyes. And if you're like me, have a little bit of hereditariness when it comes to your skin and how your skin looks, you're gonna have some, you know, dark circles and everything like that. But now I'm gonna go in with my Skin Better Alto Advanced Defense and Repair Serum. I am running low on this, and I'm planning on switching it out for something else that's a lot cheaper, because I like this brand. I've liked it since I was at the esthetician's office, but I know I can find something that's just as good, if not better, for way cheaper. If you can find something like Face Reality or something like that, I think that Good Molecules and Bioma are working for me really well. So I have like a product on standby I'm going to switch to when I run out of that. Like, if you can find stuff that's a lot cheaper that works just as well, do it. Don't spend your money on the really expensive stuff. Now, this next thing I got was a gift from my boss at the time, and this is the Skin Better Maestro Active Balance Serum. This is supposed to help with redness, especially if like you're like me and have rosacea, but I think that it definitely works at the very least with calming some of the redness, but it doesn't do everything. And my skin gets really red because I have rosacea, and I'm also allergic to a lot of things. Namely, one thing is my dogs. I'm allergic to my dogs, but I'm not going to get rid of them because that's just not going to happen. But because of that, my skin tends to break out more often. And before I go, because now my battery is going to die apparently, I moisturize with the Trio Rebalance Moisturizer from Skin Better, and then I have this beautiful little bottle of rose face oil from this company called Heaven Sent Body Products from Sedona Wanderlust. Got this black-owned business, black-owned small business, and plant-based ingredients, no chamomile, which irritates my skin, and everything just is handmade and uses only plant-based products and a small amount of plant-based products. So I'll leave the link for this business in the description for you guys if you want to check it out. It's local to me, but the owner is super, super nice, and this owner is actually going to help me with getting stuff for the bridal party that I have for the wedding that I'm going to in the summer. So very excited for that. But I'm going to go finish up my skincare routine and switch out my battery, and then we'll head off to the bookstore, which I'm excited for. I think I'm going to take my book and maybe not much else, maybe my headphones, but that'll be about it. So I will see you guys when we get to the bookstore. I have returned home, and you are in the cabinet right now because this is the highest place I can find that will let me talk with you face to face. So, went to Barnes & Noble, as you saw. I did find a few books. Well, I found a copy of Silent Sparrow, which I don't know. It's probably still in my car. I'll have to go grab it because I took it out to, like, look at it and stuff, and I think I left it in there. But the other two books I ended up getting were books that I already planned to read this month. I just had placed the audiobooks on hold, and I don't think I'm going to get them before the end of the month, so I figured I'd get the physical copies just so I can read them, which we have The Spear Cuts Through Water by Simon Jimenez, which is the Moonies book club read for the month of February, and Jan's Bloody read for the month, for Jan's Patreon, which is You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty by Akwaeke Emezi. So, got 3 books, and I also got myself a little snack while I was at the cafe, so well spent, $50, well spent. So yeah, and then I had to run and go grab a handful of groceries, so I'm just going to go ahead and put that stuff away. I have to get some dishes taken care of before I can settle down for the night and start doing my whole spa night thing. So yeah. Okay, this is a really kind of vain thing, honestly, and I don't know how many people are gonna, like, necessarily be okay with me talking about this, but I've had a really poor self-image for a very, very long time, mostly due to things like bullying, and makeup aside, I feel like this is a really cute look, and I feel very confident in myself. And oh OTD is nice and cozy, as you saw. Like, I went for kind of comfy cozy and, you know, natural looking makeup. Like, the most that I did was I put on a tinted sunscreen, like, foundation of sorts. I did some liquid blush, which I tampered down with concealer to conceal my acne. And then I did an eyebrow gel and pencil and then mascara. But it's a very natural look. And so I kind of wanted to go for like a comfy, cozy, not trying super hard kind of thing. I don't know, just something about this is making me really happy. It's also been the first time I've worn contacts in a while, so that might have something to do with it. And I'm wearing earrings for the first time in a while. I'm pretty sure I have not worn makeup since my birthday last year. I'm fairly certain. So, or maybe since the beginning of the school year. Either way, it's been at least like 6 months. Yeah, so I'm feeling pretty happy with how I look. I feel really happy with how I'm feeling right now. Not gonna lie, I might be getting a little manic, which, not usually good, but we will power through it. I did also, while I was at the cafe, read a little bit more of the Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. I got through another, like, almost 50 pages of that, and I don't know. I mean, I don't hate it, but is it the most amazing thing I've ever read? No. Do I think that it portrays witchcraft in the sense that I know it fairly well? Yeah. It's kind of got that, like, occulty vibe that is not necessarily something I would use to say, hey, this is a really good idea of how modern witchcraft looks like. I mean, for one, it's not placed in a modern setting. It's placed in the 1970s. Okay, so let's put that there. But even that, not necessarily the kind of witchcraft I think is best portrayed. Like, there is one thing that they talk about, though, that is incredibly important when it comes to doing any kind of magic or witchcraft, and it is that intention is important. It most certainly is. In my opinion, and this is my opinion, so take it with a grain of salt, I believe intention is very important when it comes to doing your workings. If you don't place intention in something, then where is the energy supposed to go? Where is it supposed to land? How is it supposed to work? So my thought is that that is a good thing to mention in this, and the whole point of the story is really based around this idea of intention and what these girls are intending to do with the magic. So there's that. But the rest of it, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm not sure how I feel about this in particular. I think I see where a lot of people kind of are like hit or miss with Grady Hendrix. Like, I don't hate it, but I'm not necessarily like loving it to the full extent, you know? Which, fun fact, for this year, so far, in 2025, I have read exclusively women authors, except for Grady Hendrix. This is the first male author I have read this year. And it's subpar. I don't know what you want to say about that, but kind of an interesting tidbit going on for 2025, if you see what I mean. It's just an interesting thing to notice. A very interesting thing for me to catch. But yeah, I've pretty much read almost exclusively female authors, and I would say probably 50% to 3/4 of them have been people of color. I'm fairly certain. I'd have to look back at my stats for the year, but I'm pretty certain that at least half of the books I've read have been from authors of color. So win-win for me. Woo-hoo-hoo. Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get some stuff put away, put the dishes away, get another dish load started, and then we'll get started with the spa night. I decided I am going to just do the full gambit and not do a bubble bath tonight. I'm going to do my hair mask and take a shower and all that stuff, so I can't stop staring at myself. I know that seems vain, but I can't stop staring at myself in the camera. It's very rare that I feel this pretty, so I'm gonna take what I can get. Okay, shower and skin routine are done. I have decided to put my hair in some heatless curlers that I got from my friend who is getting married this summer, and I've never used them. I have had them for probably like 2 months, something like that, probably longer. But yeah, so I put those in and I have my bonnet on so that I can keep my hair protected because it's already trying to fall out of the curlers, so this will be interesting. I've never tried this before. Trying to figure out how I can get my hair to look a little bit more curly, because like I'm able to use some products to get some curl in it, because my hair is starting to be able to curl a lot more since I was younger. So I'm trying to like encourage it to continue with curling. But now I've got on these little feet mask things because I want to also paint my toenails, because I haven't done that in a while since I broke one of my toenails a while back. So I want to do that and make that like one of my last little spa night things. So, but I feel so good. Like I feel really, really good. My hair mask was nice long shower, and then doing my skincare routine, and I did a charcoal mask. I was gonna edit this vlog tonight, but I think I'll just wait till tomorrow, because tomorrow's like basically like my work day anyway, for like homework and stuff. So I need to do that. So I'll finish up this vlog here in a little bit, and we will edit it tomorrow while I'm home, which will be so nice to be home. And then I only have 4 days for the week, and tomorrow's a paid holiday, and Wednesday is an early release day. I'll take it. I'm happy. And I found out where my position is going to be now for starting this week, which I am going back to our ASD room. So I already know the kids. There is one new kid that basically got switched over from another self-contained room to our room, and I believe he is being self-contained in that. I don't believe he's going to a gen ed of any kind for his age, and as far as I know, he's adjusted really well. So I have no idea if I'm going to be working with him or if I'm going to be working with the kid that I was working with normally. I'm not sure. I'm pretty excited because I love these kids. I'm happy to be able to go see some of my kids again. If I end up being with the one that I was with the majority of the time last time, I'll get to go back to the 3rd grade class that I really enjoyed being around. And I have a lot of the kids in that class in particular that are like, when are you coming back? When are you coming back to our room? And I'm like, guys, it's not up to me. Principal's the one that makes the assignments, not me. So take it up with them. But yeah, so I don't know what I'm gonna do now. I don't want to sit here for 15 minutes and read something. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and scroll through Instagram reels and such. Yeah. And then we'll get back to reading this thing. I'm like 200 pages in now, so I'm a little bit less than halfway done, and I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know. I don't necessarily want to DNF it, but I don't necessarily know how I feel about it. Okay, toes are done. No free feet pictures here. But yeah, and dinner, my leftover chili that my mom made is currently warming up, and I'm gonna try Poppy again. I think I've either tried this or Olipop. I can't quite remember, and I didn't like it necessarily, but I know it's been a while, and I tried the cherry cola one at my mom's house, my mom and dad's house, because my mom's been trying to get into them. So let's see how this fares now. I've got the orange cream, usually a pretty safe bet for me. Not much you can do wrong with an orange cream, so let's do a taste test. Ooh, that's good. That's really good. I'm trying to get better about taking care of my body, and I know that I don't get a lot of fiber in my diet, so I'm trying to like find ways to be better about that. So my food's done, but I also got some greens based gummies to help with that. So hopefully I can get myself to where my body is like able to digest properly, because sometimes my body does not digest food very well, and I think it's because I don't have enough fiber in my diet. So I'm trying to like find a way to combat that. So We're gonna go grab my chili. I've got the Jacksepticeye Poppy Playtime Chapter 4 video going right now. And I think I'm gonna watch that and just kind of relax before I end up starting with doing some reading. I'm gonna try to wind down a little bit for the night. It's still not quite 8 o'clock, so I haven't quite been able to take my meds. It's 7:33 right now, so I take my meds in like half an hour. And then from there, like, I'll be reading and winding down for the night to reset myself for the coming week. Even though tomorrow I have the day off, I'd like to try to reset myself to where, like, I get up at, you know, the time I normally would, so that I can then also go to bed at my normal time, so I'm not, like, staying up way too late or something. So anyway, I will see you guys before I go to bed. I'll make sure to go to film before I go to sleep tonight so that I can update you on what my final page count for Witchcraft for Wayward Girls ended up.